This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Alex Biggs, the CEO of Lightning Minerals, recently listed on the ASX where they raised 7 million Aussie dollars, and they're exploring for critical minerals in the Dundas region of Western Australia. So very welcome to you, Alex. How are you?
I'm very good, Mark. Good to be here, and Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, happy belated New Year. Yes, it is the 1st of February, but it's the first time we've spoken this year, so Happy New Year to you. So I wonder if you can just take us through really the high-level overview of the company and what you're all about, noting that you only listed a few months ago, so fresh on the market here with fresh energy, I hope.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we listed 22nd of November last year. We've got a suite of assets, our Dundas project, which we acquired from FMG Resources. The focus there is critical minerals and lithium exploration. Obviously, that's a red hot sector right now. We understand that, and my experience previously as managing director of critical resources, having that exposure to the lithium space and critical minerals and battery minerals, was obviously really good for me, and it was an important part of, I guess, putting together Lightning. Post-listing, we've been pretty busy at Dundas. We've started our soil sampling campaign and geophysics, and we want to get on the ground there and start drilling. That's what investors want to see. They want to see you spending your money well, and spending it effectively and efficiently, and moving fast. So yeah, it's been a great start for us, and I think 2023 is going to be a very good year for us.
Okay, excellent. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that project in a moment. But of course, you have assembled a package of other projects as well, notably Mount Jewell, Mailman Hill and Mount Bartle project. But noting from the recent update, the quarterlies, no work has been done. And there is a little bit of work done, some geophysical work. But is the focus not on these projects? Is it fair to say?
Look, Dundas is our flagship. The reason we like that Dundas region, if you look at it right now, it's really red hot, across the suite of critical minerals. Including lithium and, base metals and platinum group elements, and also some rare earth elements as well. So, for us, it makes sense to start our works there. Being so close to Liontown's Baldania project and sharing similar lithologies to them, just literally a couple of kilometres away is very promising for us. However, you're right, Mark, in that we do have other assets, all in Western Australia. Our other three assets are Mount Bartle, Mount Jewell and Mailman Hill. So they're focused more on base metals, sort of nickel, copper, potentially some gold up there as well. And I guess the history of those assets is that was how the company began. And, we rolled in the assets from FMG for Dundas. But just because they're our second string assets doesn't mean they're not good. We need to do work on them, and the team here, our geology team, is focused on, getting on the ground there and looking at what value they can provide too, because they're certainly complementary, right? They fit into that critical mineral suite. So, a very good package of projects to start with.
And will you be planning to be active on all of the projects at some point during this year?
Yeah, correct. Obviously we have minimum expenditures that we have to meet. So all the projects will see work this year. Dundas is our focus. As I say, we're on the ground there doing work now, but we'll be doing work on all our projects this year, correct.
Okay. Well, let's look at Dundas then. You mentioned that lithium is probably the main commodity you're after. You're talking there about doing some soil sampling programs across the tenements. So what's the work program looking like for Dundas? And also, what's the prospectivity looking like here? You've obviously taken it into the portfolio because you see it has potential upside here.
Yeah, that's correct. When you talk about prospectivity, I say to our guys here, you better make sure you define some prospects, right? That's pretty important. And, I guess being in a very hot region such as Dundas, which historically, when you look at it, was more nickel focused and gold focused. Over the last few years, it's become a real lithium hub, and having projects like Baldania, which is Liontown's project right next door, 15 million tonnes. having the Bartle Hill lithium tantalum mine near us as well. These are real, these are real key projects and major projects. So when you look at the lithologies and look at the geology and you see that our projects share similar lithologies and geologies to them, that's a really good start. So that's how we started the process. I mean, when you look at previous lithium exploration across our tenements, very minimal. So, it's important, I guess, to go back and start at the start and do your soil sampling first, do your geophysics work, look at defining targets, getting out on the ground. The guys will be out on the ground next week, having a look around. I've been out to site as well. I definitely liked what I saw. I guess it's just a case now of doing that work, being pragmatic about it. And that's what investors want to see. And we look to get to drilling as quickly as we can.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Get to drilling as quickly as you can. So you said there that in the past it does have history of exploration in nickel and gold, and there are other operators in the area as well. You're obviously going after the lithium. That's the critical metals that you talked about earlier. Is the Dundas region becoming a bit of a hotspot for lithium explorers at the moment, would you say?
Yeah, I certainly think so. I mean, as I say, if you go back historically and you look at Kalgoorlie, which is a couple of hours to the north, and then Kambalda, which is an hour or so north. You look at those two. I mean, Kalgoorlie is obviously gold focused. I mean, it's the premier gold mining region, probably on earth, right? And you look at Kambalda, known similarly, but for nickel. And Norseman, where we are, which is the Dundas region, was always a bit of a poor relation, I guess, to those two. Nickel and gold, yes, but certainly lithium historically, no. But then why would people have been exploring for it 50 years ago, right? It didn't really make sense. But when you look at some of the projects in the region, they are significant. I mean, have a look at Essential Metals deal that was done recently. That project is just up the road from us. Big deal there with IGO and Tenchi Lithium. So, there's a lot of activity in the region. And I guess when you see your peers doing well, it's a good indicator of the prospectivity of the region in general, for sure.
Yes, it is. It always gives you confidence when your neighbours are making discoveries as well, because of course geology knows no borders really, so it can easily spill over into other licence areas. So you have approximately 6.2 million Aussie dollars of cash, effectively, from what I gathered from the quarterlies. You're looking to deploy that then on the Dundas project. It is early stage, although it has history, but you said it's early stage for the lithium exploration. Could you sort of set out the plans of how the money is going to be allocated, how you're going to structure the exploration program, and when you hope to have the defined targets, then you can go and get drilling?
Yeah, right. So we raised 7 million back in November. I mean, we actually had interest for, over $40 million. So there's a lot of interest in this space. And, that amount of money is pretty good, like for a junior like us. I mean, having an EV of 2.6, 2.7 when we came on, fantastic. There's good upside there. Particularly with the ground that we hold. So, for us, I'm a big believer in first principles. I'm a mining engineer by background, but I do have a reasonable understanding of geology too, and it's certainly about process, right? So, you start with your, you start out here and you start honing in like this, and I guess the soil sampling is a crucial part of that. I mean, we were looking at priority areas to do that work, and we're getting through that very well at the moment. The geophysics also then informs those results, and then beyond that, I guess you look at defining some drill targets and getting on the ground. So we've already had some results back from our soil sampling. We've identified a lithium anomaly above 60 parts per million on our 2001 lease, which is our southernmost lease, and also the lease that is closest to Liontown's Baldania lithium project. So, that's very encouraging when you start talking about, theories and you start talking about narrative, and then to go and do the work and actually get the results which support that, that's obviously really important. So, for us, it's about defining those targets, and then we start drilling them. It's important to have a priority on those targets, and then we'll start knocking them off and start getting the drills on the ground.
Do you have a target date for when you'd like to have the targets defined?
Yeah, fairly soon. I mean, I think that I think with the geophysics expected imminently and the ongoing soil sampling, those two bits of information, then combined with site visits and looking at what we've discovered is very important. So I would expect that fairly soon. And then from that, of course, we start doing our drilling and our planning for our drilling moving forward.
Okay, well, hopefully we can catch up when you do have those drill targets defined. We can maybe look at where you're going to be putting those drills in and what you hope to, what you're looking for it to turn up, hopefully. So maybe we can look to do that as and when appropriate. But for now, Alex Biggs, the CEO of Lightning Minerals, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate it. Thanks.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.